Hello, and welcome to another episode of Music on the Rocks. My name is Jeff Brown. I am a singer-songwriter living here in Linden, Virginia, and I come to you every Wednesday, as I have for almost 2 years, to share a little bit of music and a little bit of whiskey and some company in times like these when some of us, especially me, have been lacking in a lot of company in moments like these. So my hope is that a little bit of music and a little bit of whiskey lightens up your day, makes you feel like, we're having a moment together, because I have not had a lot of moments like that recently, and I wish that I could. So hopefully this helps you get through whatever it is that we're all trying to get through. Speaking of whiskey, I will be going through and continuing my journey through the Johnnie Walker Blended collection. Today we are going through the Johnnie Walker Gold Label Reserve. And Gold Label, I think this is a different one than the one I was introduced to many, many years ago when it was released in the US. I did an event or two for them back in Chicago and made my way with this fancy-pantsy golden bag of goodies. So I think that might be a slightly different gold label. But we are going to explore the Gold Label Reserve together. And accompanying this journey into Scotch whiskey, I have been performing songs by notable Scottish artists. And folks, let's face it, if you start talking about notable Scottish artists, it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when Frightened Rabbit is going to start coming up. And that day is today. I chose this song for a number of reasons, not the least of which being I sliced open my knuckle. So a song like this is very easy to just kind of play intermittently and let notes ring out into space, which takes some of the pressure off my hand. But more than that, this is just a song that has stuck in my head and refused to ever leave since the first time I heard it. And I was introduced to this band back in 2014 when I first played in Glasgow, Scotland. And I played my first show and delivered what I can only imagine is my special brand of introspective, sensitive singer-songwriter-manship, as I do. And afterwards, a woman comes up to me and says, "Have you ever heard of a band called Frightened Rabbit?" I said, "No, I don't believe I have." And she says, "You should. Their singer reminds me a lot of you. And they just played here a couple days ago. You should listen to them. You'll fancy them." So I did, and she was not wrong. I fancy them quite a bit. I became a fan very shortly afterwards, and continue to this day, despite there being no more Frightened Rabbit available. I had the honor of performing a couple of their songs at a tribute to Frightened Rabbit and to Scott that went to benefit suicide prevention and mental health outreach, which at the time and continuing to this very day are desperately needed and a tremendous help to a lot of people. And before I get into the song, what I will say this is that if you find yourself in one of those scenarios where you feel like it's not worth it, let me assure you that there is always, always hope. Whether you see it or not, there is always hope. And there is always help for people who need it. There are organizations that exist solely for the purpose of helping people who are in need of it. This got real heavy, so yeah, Frightened Rabbit. I'm working on my backwards walk, I'm walking with no shoes and socks. Time rewinds to the end of May. I wish we'd never met than met today. I'm working on my faults and cracks. I'm filling in the blanks and gaps. And when I write them out, they don't make sense. Need you to pencil in the rest. I'm working on drawing a straight line, and I'll draw until I get it right. It's bold and dark, girl, can't you see? Undrawn line between you and me, and I'm working on erasing you. I just don't have the proper tools. I get hammered before I get you exist. There's no way I'm forgetting this. I'm working hard on walking out. My shoes keep sticking to the ground. My clothes won't let me close the door. My trousers seem to love your floor. And I've been working on my backwards walk. There's nowhere left for me to go, except back to you just one more time. Say yes before I change my mind. Say yes before I change my mind. Now I know what you're thinking. Yes, there is another part to this song. However, I endeavor to keep this show as family friendly as I can. So I will leave that to you to click on the links above or below or wherever you may find them and listen to the song for yourself. It's a song called My Backwards Walk by a band called Frightened Rabbit, whom I love and respect in a very, very deep way. And that was my stab at one of my favorite songs of theirs. So I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you've enjoyed my foray into various notable Scottish musicians, artists, singer-songwriters, in conjunction with my tour of blended Scotch whiskey courtesy of Johnnie Walker. So today we have the Johnnie Walker Gold Label Reserve. Oh, this is just fruity. You know, maybe this is what I remember, because what I remember about the Gold Label is that you kept a bottle in your freezer because it made those sweet notes, the honey and the apricot and notes like that just really, really ring out. And I gotta tell you, just from the nose, there is so much honey and apricot and sweetness, and I am looking forward to exploring this with all of you. It's got some commendable legs. My friends, as always, from me to you, be well, be safe. Please don't cut your hands open. Nobody wins. It's okay to not be okay, and if you're not okay, it is even more okay to get help. Some may say that asking for help is weakness. Those people are wrong. It's okay to ask for help if you need it. There are people across the world ready to help. My friends, cheers. Okay. Whew. So the Gold Label Reserve is a bit deceptive. This is not the delightfulness that I remember from Johnnie Walker Gold Label. It has so much of that rich honey and apricot and stone fruit and that sweetness, and then as soon as you drink it, it disappears, and it's overwhelmed by just a monstrous wave of kind of oaky bitterness. And there's some smoke, there's a little bit of saline, a little bit of salt to it, and I remember so much more honey and so much more sweetness and so much more thickness than this is giving me, and I am a little disappointed with this. I'm still going to finish it, but I remember Gold Label being better. Now next week we are going to the Gold Label 18, which maybe that's going to be closer. I'm not sure. Let's find out together. Until then, my friends, cheers to all of you, and I will see you next week.